Good afternoon, chess fans. My name is Pavel Voloshin, and today we'll make a broadcast about a match between Moscow Chess Club and Palestine Chess Club. First of all, let's listen the greeting words of the president of Moscow Chess Federation, Sergei Lazarev.
Добрый день, дорогие друзья! Мы рады принять участие в международном шахматном блиц-турнире, организованном Департаментом спорта города Москвы, и сразиться с московской командой. Мы – это сборная команда юных соотечественников из организации российских соотечественников, входящей в КСОРС, Координационный совет Палестины, председателем которого я являюсь, и зовут меня Галина Баргут. А также в нашу команду входят юные палестинцы. Мы выставили сегодня две команды в двух возрастных категориях. В каждой по 15 человек. Старшая 2007-2004 года рождения и младшая 2008-2012 годов рождения. Шахматы в Палестине любят и в них играют на профессиональном уровне. Но среди соотечественников эта игра получила популярность не так давно. И поэтому это больше любительский уровень. КСОРС при поддержке Российского центра науки и культуры в городе Вифлееме, а также центра «Монарх» впервые провел турнир для юных соотечественников в 2016 году. «Спорт вместо войны» – так мы назвали наш турнир. В последующие годы такие турниры стали проводиться нами на постоянной основе, каждый год расширяя географию турнира, а также возраст участников, как соотечественников, так и палестинцев. В марте этого года в связи с пандемией при поддержке нашего тренера и постоянного судьи Фади Кассис мы организовали для соотечественников онлайн-группу на платформе Lichess, которая объединила около 30 юных игроков. И за этот период сыграли не менее 12 разноплановых турниров, как в личном, так и в командном первенстве. Также инициировали, организовали и провели турниры регионального масштаба с шахматистами, соотечественниками Иордании, Ливана и Сирии. Сегодня мы настроены на победу, как и положено спортсменам. Но в любом случае победит дружба, тем более, что наш турнир проходит в честь Дня народного единства. С праздником вас, дорогие друзья! А ребятам всем я сегодня желаю успеха, интересной плодотворной.
Дорогие друзья, приветствую участников и гостей международной онлайн-встречи. Мы искренне рады, что этот матч проходит на официальном интернет-сайте Московской шахматной федерации. Шахматы имеют долгую историю и стали неотъемлемой частью мирового спортивного движения, отражением национальных и культурных традиций разных стран, в которых он развивается. Сегодня шахматы – это не только спорт, но и образ жизни миллионов людей во всем мире. По сути, шахматы – это философия, которая позволяет стать внимательным, ответственным, вдумчивым человеком. Мы знаем, что онлайн и офлайн шахматы сильно отличаются друг от друга, но все они имеют одну общую черту – побеждает сильнейший. Искренне желаю участникам встречи удачного выступления, удачи всем и побед сильнейшим. Делаю первый ход. Ваш ход.
Also, interesting game because David has won a queen on d8. So let's find maybe another game. For example, Fares Almuri against Apets. Very interesting position right now. King goes to h6 square. Very hard to believe that there would be no checkmate on this square. I believe that white has great opportunities to win this game. Knight goes to f6, attacking queen on d5, queen goes to d1, but maybe everything is okay for black because the bishop goes to e5, f3, trying to exchange pawns, and trying to include bishop on c1 game, maybe after e4, but bishop goes to d7, f takes e4, f takes e4, and not so easy to understand what to do for white. They need to find some active plan. Knight goes to d5, queen goes to d6, attacking pawn on h2 square. h3, I believe that like rook f8 will be played in this position. Knight goes to h5, also a nice try. Knight goes to g3 square. Black squares on the king side are too weak for white. It is not very good for them. And I believe that black has a very big advantage in this position. Queen goes to e1, but maybe bishop, yeah, well, would be a checkmate or something like that. Knight goes to g3, king will take on h2, and knight will go to f1 with a discovered check. King goes to g1, knight goes back to g3 square. Knight goes to f4. Now knight should go to f5. Yeah, but the bishop will take the pawn on e4. Maybe bishop c6 or just rook e8. Attacking this bishop on e4 also is very good. Both players are playing very fast. G takes f5. So queen h4, king g7. I think that white has some counter chances in this position. Now, king goes to f7 square. Black's king also in danger. Queen g5, but queen g6 will come, I believe, with an idea of exchanging the queens. Something like that. But h6 is played and queen goes to g7. Well, knight goes to f4, and what a pity for black. They lost their queen. King goes to d6, king goes to h2, and white's position once again is totally winning. Queen goes to b7, and Fares Almuri is starting to eat some pawns. Bishop on the pawn on g2, and now bishop goes to d6 with an idea of checkmate on c7, but there is only one defense. Bishop d7, queen takes on h6. I believe that there would be a checkmate in several moves. She has to move faster, and there is a checkmate. Rook d8, queen takes d8, and queen b7. A very good win for 809. Very good. Now let's move to one more group, Group B. Is going on right here. Not very interesting game because black has extra rook. So now let's switch to another one. Now let's watch something very interesting. A lot of rook endings today. Now let's watch this one. Very interesting. Mustafa Hamuri against Postmat. Very interesting rook ending. I believe that not so clear for white. I don't believe that this pawn ending should be winning for them. So maybe Mustafa made a mistake, but it is very hard to understand right now. G4, Postmat has to do something. H6. The most principal moves will come in this position. 45 seconds left for Mustafa Hamuri. King goes to d4 square. Postmat has just 20 seconds. The position is very complicated, so it is very hard to calculate all variations. So everything can come in this game. H takes g5, H takes g5. I believe that F will take on g5 square. There are a lot of exchangings, and I believe that king goes to e5 is winning for white. Mustafa is thinking about that. Yes, he's making this move. King has to go to c5, king e6. Now, happened in this game, g8 was a check, which is not very good for black. But how to win this position? Not so easy. Not so easy. Let's watch this game. Let's watch the technique of Mustafa Hamuri. Yeah, he is a high-rated player, so I believe that he can win this position. Yeah, queen goes to b4, king a2, and king goes to g5 against Valera bot 2009. Very complicated position, but I believe that black has a little advantage here because pawn on c3 is very weak for white. f3 was a mistake, I believe that because knight goes to g3, king f2, knight f5, g4, but knight goes to e7. Black just need a very good plan. Bishop goes to g5. And I believe that exchange on e7 will happen in this game. Takva has to do that, but he is making a strange move. Bishop f6. Bishop goes to d4, attacking pawn on a7. a6, of course, very good play from Valera. a3. I believe that knight has to go somewhere, or maybe just f6, king f7, king e7, but knight goes to e7, and I believe that Takva has to play bishop f6, but he is making a strange move b4, and it is a not very good pawn structure. Because he has a black square bishop, and practically all pawns are on the black pieces. So king go to e3, knight 6. I believe that black will win this game, but they have to show a very good technique. f4, preventing knight e5. Maybe pawn can go to e5 right now. Also a very nice idea. I believe that a5 is a nice try for Valera bot. h4, a will take on b4 square, I believe. Rook goes to e4, also a nice try. King will go to f3 square, of course. Black has to take on b4. But what they have to do next? Rook goes to c4. Rook h1 with an idea of h5. I believe that rook a8 be played for Valera in some moment, but knight goes to b7, trying to exchange bishop, but Takva Hamuri is defending his position very good. We have to say that. Knight goes to d6, rook a6 attack. And now let's see technical realization of for Takva, but Valera decided to resign in this game. Yeah, it is a good decision. Now let's switch to group A. Watch what is going on right here. Let's watch game. Let's find some interesting game. Something like that. A game between Randa Seder and Kujel Alex. So the last move was bishop h3 with an idea for Alex. He has a good chess education without a doubt. Bishop goes to e3, h5 with an idea of putting knight or bishop on g4 square. Very good play from Alex. He's trying to attack on the king side. Very good. Very interesting idea. 2 minutes left for Randa Seder. Not so easy to find a good plan. Bishop f3, trying to attack knight on c6, but I believe that knight will go to e5 and what to do next. But Alex decided to play h4, not so clear decision, because yeah, bishop takes on c6, pawn will take on c6, and queen goes to f3. It is a forced variation. Fall, Randa Sider decided to take pawn on a7. Alex just played bishop g4, attacking queen on d1, but f3. Just f3, attacking pawn, attacking bishop on g4. But Randa has to play faster. Maybe he's thinking about knight f3 or maybe even queen c1 or queen g2. But he has to do something, he has to play faster. I believe that f3 is the most principal move for him, because on any other move, pawn on h3 will be played for Alex. So 1 minute left for Randa Sider. And it is the key decision in this game for him. f3 should be played. It's the only decision, but he decided to play queen d2 and h3 immediately played by Alex. g3. White squares on the king's side are very weak, and Alex is trying to do something with that. Bishop goes to f5, maybe with an idea of knight e4. 4 also is possible, but Randa has to play faster. He has just 20 seconds. Just 15 seconds left. 10 seconds, and what will be what? Wow, knight. It is. We can understand that. Match is held in the evening, so all players are very tired. Maybe now let's watch this game. Watch this game. Apets against Zain Al-Jabari. Now, what is going on? White has a very strong pawn center, but I believe that knight can take on e4 right now, attacking also pawn on c3, but Apets decided to defend it with the bishop. So, very interesting position. What can we say about it? I believe that white has little advantage here. Knight goes back to f6, trying to attack pawn on d5, but queen c2. Maybe it is a possible move, but what on bishop f5? Yeah. With a very uncomfortable pin on the knight on d3 square. Bishop goes to b3, and including bishop on b2. And queen goes to c3 with an idea of checkmate on black diagonal and how to defend it against it. Not so easy to find solution. Knight goes to b4 and queen g7, checkmate. Checkmate. Now let's switch to another tournament. Let's move to Group B. Watch something like, well, let's watch this game. Vyacheslav Zырянov against Mustafa Hamouri. Very interesting play going on right here. Let's watch. I believe that Mustafa will take pawn on d5, and he has an extra pawn, but a slightly weak king's position. I believe that Vyacheslav will play queen g3, but bishop d6. Bishop d6 is not a very comfortable move for him. Very pleasant move, and yeah, bishop d6, bishop f4. Mustafa has to just to exchange all pieces. He has an extra pawn. Bishop takes f4, queen takes f4, and just rook e8, and everything is good for him. but he has also to play faster. G5, very active move and also possible move. Vyacheslav has to play queen e3, I believe, with an idea of attacking pawn on a7, but he decided to make a check on g4. King will go to b8 square, and maybe rook d1, but Mustafa decided to play f5, also is a very nice idea, of course. Vyacheslav cannot take on g5, I believe it because of rook g8, attacking both queen on g5 and pawn on g2. So we are waiting for move rook g8 from Mustafa Khamuri, and I believe that he will win this game because I don't see any defense. Yeah, rook goes to g8. What next? Vyacheslav, tell us, how would you like to defend this position? I believe that Vyacheslav had just blundered the idea. Rook g8, but rook d1. Rook d1. Well, very interesting idea, but I believe that queen e4, but rook e1. No, not rook e1. Yeah. Rook g8 and double rook will appear on board. Come on, Vyacheslav, g3. I believe that f3 maybe was better with an idea. Rook f2, but g3 also is possible for him. And just 10 seconds left for Mustafa. Rook g8. There are no threats for Vyacheslav. Queen g2. Very good move. With an idea of exchanging queens. And now we'll see a rook ending with extra pawn for Vyacheslav Zырянов. And there is an idea of checkmate on d8, but b6 is played by Mustafa. And Vyacheslav, let's show us your technique. Rook d4 is the most principal move. Yeah, very good. Very good. F takes g3, and now there are two pawns on the king side that will go to queens. h4. b5, g4 should be played, rook h2. Strange move, but I think that it is possible. h5, come on, Vyacheslav. Yeah, very good. Very good play. You deserve this win in this game. 10 seconds left for Mustafa. a4. Let's even just not take, but Vyacheslav decided to take pawn on a4. King goes to g4 slowly. I believe that it is too slowly, but h6, rook h8. And I believe that Vyacheslav will win this game in several moves. Rook g8, king f7, and rook g3, h7, of course. And Mustafa has just to resign in this game. What a pity for him, but the idea of rook d1 from Vyacheslav Zырянов was very interesting. Rook f3, and the last move, not the last move, okay. Vyacheslav is winning the rook, and now rook h3. Yeah, rook h3, very technical move, very technical. Vyacheslav, he's preventing the appearing of the king on the third line. Now king goes to d3, king goes to a3. Yeah, very good. King c2, king a2, rook c3. Yeah, rook c3, a3, and just king c1, king c1, king a1, and rook a3. Let's just watch this checkmate. Yeah, has just appeared on board. So now let's watch some more games. Let's watch something interesting. Okay, I found a very interesting game for us. Against Alexander Sasha 1607 2006 against the pawn on g4, but they decided to win a rook on h1. Now rook will take on h1, and we need some time to understand what is going on in this position. Knight on e5 is a monster for white. He has a defense with knight on d3. I believe that white has a good position. Yeah. Probably not winning, but very good. But black has to do something. c5. Maybe knight takes on g4. Maybe one more knight will go to g5, but rook d3, queen d3, rook d8 maybe. Was an idea, but not. No, h5, queen goes to f5. And I believe that knight will go to e5 square with a lot of threats. Very good play from Sasha. Rook h5, queen takes h5, queen d8, queen d5. Queen d5 is a very logical move, but Sasha has just played queen takes c5. But now there are some possibilities of perpetual check for black. King e4, queen c2, or maybe even king g2, queen g4, queen d6, king c4. 4 pawns for a bishop. Very interesting. Let's watch this game till the end. Queen b5, king f8, queen c5. Let's just take pawn on a7, queen d5, or on b7. Yeah, on b7. Let's take this pawn. Queen d8. King h7. King h7. And what is going on? Queen g2, defending pawn on g2. And now king f3, king f2. Plans for black. Yeah, e5. And Sofia has just to resign. b6, b7, b8. So the game is all over. White wins. Very deserved win. Well-deserved win. For I believe that maybe it is a candidate for the game of the tournament. So now let's watch another game. Oh, let's move to Group A. Let's switch to this tournament and find some interesting. Well, we just turned on this position and white made a blunder. Pity. And Apets has just to take queen on c2. Yeah. And there's too much extra material for black. Not very interesting game anymore. But maybe e4. D takes e4, d takes e4, e5. Bishop will go to c4 square. I believe that it is the most principal move for white. Even with an idea of knight g5 maybe. So let's move Kate. Let's move our bishop to c4. But she decided to move her bishop to b5. Also a possible variant. Bishop goes to g4, h3, h3. Let's move Kate. Yeah, she's doing that. Bishop will go to h5. Or maybe just to d7. No, Fares decided to exchange his bishop on f3. Kate decided to take with queen, bishop d6, and castles. No, Kate decided to take bishop with to take knight on c6. B takes c6, and knight goes to c4 square. Very good position for white. c3. Bishop goes back to d6. Bishop goes to d5, g5, g5. Come on, Kate. Let's do that. Bishop goes to g5. Second knight on f6. So, but Kate decided to put her bishop on e3 square. Not so easy to understand her idea, but maybe it is a possible one. Castles, castles. c5. c5 is not very good move for Fares because he puts one more pawn on black square and he has black square bishop. So it is like a big pawn on d6 and queen goes to e7 and now bishop on d6 even has no empty squares. b3. Very slow, but very logical play from Kate. So Kate decided to play rook d3. Fares just played queen e6. Something positive for him. Knight goes to h5, but rook goes to d1. And what to do with bishop on d6? Not so easy to find an answer on this question for Fares. He's playing faster than Kate, but his position is totally lost from the strategy point of view. Knight goes to g3, but there are no threats for Kate, so she can maybe even just take on d6, but then she decided to take on e5. Nice chess tactics from her. And what can Fares do in this position? I believe that something like bishop e7. Of course, his position is totally lost, but he has to find some counterplay maybe. Maybe c4, trying to open his bishop. There were no idea bishop c5 because bishop takes c5 with a check. Knight goes to c6, rook goes to a8. Defending pawn on a7, but e5, pawn to e5 was an idea. King f2, and now there is a threat of e5, and come on, Kate, let's move e5. The time has come. e5 is played by Kate. Bishop will go to f8, the knight on h5. Come on, Kate, g4, and the game what on. And there is a nice idea of knight b5, maybe right now in this position, yeah. Attacking queen and pawn on c7. Maybe it is all over right now in this position. Maybe Yazan has made a blunder. I think is a possible variation. Queen takes d5. Well, bishop c4 with the pin on the queen. Yeah. Good. One more. Let's watch this game. Jane Wolf against Hassan Rashid. Believe that, yeah, Karakan defense from a strategical point of view. Bishop goes to b5, but knight goes to c6 square. So let's find a good plan for white. Not so easy to do that, but I believe that bishop e3 will be played. Yeah. Played c4, nice try, but knight, I believe that will go back to g2 or c1 also is possible. Yeah. Bishop e7, knight goes to e2 with an idea of with a maneuver on g3. Bishop goes to h7. Very good position for black. b3, a6, yeah, a6, and now exchanging on c6, h5, and then bishop h6 with an attack. B takes c4, I believe it is not the best possible move in this position because now pawn on c3 is too weak. So she has to retreat her bishop to d2. It could not be good for her. Queen b3. Queen b3, but now maybe rook c8. Something like that, yeah. Hassan Rashid is playing very logical, without a doubt. Rook c1. Has to find a good plan. Maybe exchanging queens. Jane a4. But what on? Knight b6 or queen b6. a5 is played also very logical. Yeah, Hassan Rashid is playing very good. He's one of the most high-rated players in this tournament. Oh. He has to play very good, without a doubt. Come on, Jane, let's find the plan. Knight f1, knight e3, attacking rook on c4. because rook on c4 has just blocked everything. And we have to fight against her. She's still thinking. She's trying to find a good variant, but could not find. And she found it. Knight f1 with an idea of moving knight on e3 square. And what Hassan will do? Maybe just bishop d3. Yeah, he has to put bishop something like on e4, on d or d3. He is playing bishop e4, knight goes to e3, bishop takes f3, but what on knight takes c4, d takes c4, yeah? Attacking queen. Very good play from Hassan, so 3. And bishop h4, I don't understand the idea of this move. Rook b1, yeah, possible variant. Queen goes to d8. 20 seconds left for Jane Wolf. Bishop e1, trying to exchange bishops. Bishop g5, attacking rook. Bishop g2 will be played. No, rook c2. What next? I believe that knight f8 also was a very good plan, but bishop e3, bishop f2, bishop f4. 10 seconds left for Jane. g3. All boards are too weak for white. g5. Also a very nice try from Hassan Rashid. Bishop goes to e3. G takes f4. Bishop takes f4, h5. Knight on e4 is very good. Queen goes to c2. Not so easy to understand what to do for Kate. Maybe f6, trying to attack knight on e5, but she decided to play bishop h4, attacking pawn on f2, but what on maybe even just knight d3 is a possible variant for Mohammed, trying to exchange some pieces. Bishop takes g3, h will take on g3, h will take or f will take on g3. Mohammed is thinking, and he takes with f pawn. And now f line is open for an attack. Interesting play. So, what can we say about this position? We can say that Kate has a very bad bishop on c8 square. He has to do something with it. Maybe just queen c7, bishop e7 or something like that. She has less time. She has worse position than her opponent. Now knight goes to b6. Rook goes to a6. Rook will take on b6 on the next move. I believe it. 8 ideas. That b4. A takes b4. Rook takes b4. Knight 7. And rook will go to b8. No. Just take on e4. Also possible. Come on, Mohammed. Let's just, put your rook on b8. And queen c6. c6, yeah. And queen is e8 mate. Yeah. Very good play from Mohammed. I believe it also a candidate for a very good for a play of the day. So let's watch some hours game. Fares Al-Mouri against Vova Pugachev. The game has just begun. Knight goes to c3, knight goes to f6, c5. Very interesting plan. Bishop goes to e7, pawn to g3, knight d7, bishop g2, castling. Yeah. Both players are playing very fast, and Vova is playing very logical. He's trying to make b6 move. Come on, Vova, let's just play b6. But first of all, he decided to play bishop d3 and bishop c4. Also, very nice try from young Russian player. b6, b4. No, c takes b6 and a will take on b6, but Vova decided to take it with queen. And bishop b3, winning the rook on d1 square. h6. Maybe a5, first of all. So a5. What next? Too easy to find an active plan for him, so maybe there will be some technical problems. Vova is still thinking. And you know, also there is an idea of maybe e4 for Fares, but Vova just played bishop or queen b3, trying to exchange queens. Queen goes to d2 square. Bishop d8 with an idea of bishop a5, and now Vova has to take, and knight go to d7, f4, f4, and now just, yeah, bishop a5. Rook b1. Rook b1 was better for Vova, but okay. Rook b8, bishop f3, rook b1. No, just rook a2, and another rook will go to b2 square, and would be an easy win for Vova Pugachev. Rook b2, yeah. Very good play from him, and I believe that we should move to another game. Because there is not so many interesting options in this position. So I believe that we should switch to another game. Very good play from Vova Pugachev. Our congratulations to him. Let's switch to Group B. Move to Group B, and let's find some very interesting games in this group right now. Maybe let's watch this game. Epets against Mohamed Seder. Very interesting Palestinian player. So what can we say for Epets? f3. He decided to play f3. f4 maybe. f4 and then g5, g6, g4. f4. Come on, Mohammed, 20 seconds for you. Let's play faster. Let's just play faster. Let's make some moves. f4, yeah. f4, very good play. Very good. I believe that the game of the day will be one of the games of Mohammed. g5. Nothing to add this game. But queen e1, exchanging queens. Wow. Very good defense from Epets. And what to do? g8. Very fast play from Mohammed. Bishop h3, bishop f1 is the only defense. Exchanging bishops. Mohammed, very good. Now, king is going to h2 pawn. And how to defend Epets? You have to find something. I can't believe it. There would be a Zugzwang in few moves. But okay, let's king c2, king h3, and king d3 protecting. But h4 ended as a Zugzwang. Yeah, Zugzwang for Epets. The best game of the day, without a doubt. Rook a1, king h2, and pawn will go to queens. Very good play from Mohamed Seder. The game of the day. Epets against Mohamed Seder. h3. Rook g1. Just take on f3 square. rook h1, king g2, a1, h2, and the game is all over. Too much extra pawns for Mohammed. Yeah. Extraordinary play from him. And rook a3 is not possible to play like that. Yeah, very good play. Very good play. So now let's remember this game. Epets Mohammed Center. Well, what else? Let's watch this game. Naruto, Motash Ceder. London system. Bishop goes to e2. Not so easy to find a good plan for both sides. a3, knight goes to a6. b4 maybe, or c4. Knight goes to e5, also very logical. Bishop takes e4, e2, queen takes e2. And what next? Bishop takes e5, g takes e5, knight b7, f4. No, queen g4. Queen c7, attacking pawn on e5, so f4 has to be played. Or maybe knight f3. No, f4. Now there is an idea, rook f3, rook g3. Very logical one. It is very classical one in this London system. Queen goes to b6, but rook f3, rook f3. Protecting pawn on e3 and with an idea of moving rook to g3 or maybe to h3, something like that. But Naruto decided to play bishop d4. Attacking queen on b6, Motash will play c5. I believe it is the only move, but why knight c5? b4 with the pin and extra piece for Naruto. So Motash has just to resign. Knight a4 and bishop will take on b6. Yeah, the game is all over. And now let's switch to group B. Let's find some interesting games. What about this one? Now let's watch this very interesting game against crazy shachmatist, against Takwa Hamuri. Last move was queen g5. Knight c3. What next plan for white? h5 with an idea of h4. Is it so strong for black? h4 is played by crazy shachmatist. Now, what? The queen goes to d8 square, of course, without a doubt. And what next? Maybe just bishop h3, attacking rook on c8. Knight goes to b5. Not so easy to understand this move, but okay. Bishop takes on d5, but queen takes on d5. Queen takes on d5, and how to defend this position with black, it is not so easy to understand, but e takes d5, it is a mistake from the positional point of view. Bishop f8, trying to defend pawn on d6. Knight goes to c3 square with an idea to move his knight to e4 and then to g5, also possible. Knight e4, attacking queen on f6, queen, very good. Have to consider that. So now it's Ceder against Kate 09. Knight on d5 square. Something like that. Maybe just exchanging knights on f6, or maybe there was a good move bishop b6. Also possible variant. So Mohammed is thinking queen takes on f6, and now bishop g5 maybe. Yeah, I believe it. Bishop g5. But bishop g5, yeah. or bishop on f3 was under attack, so it was not possible. So I believe that Mohammed has a little advantage here, because a square on d4 is very weak for white. Queen goes to e2 square. Takes c1, rook takes c1. It is the only move. Okay. He take d4. He takes d4. Okay, yeah. I guess that. Queen d3. Come on, Kate. Queen d3. Just block this pass pawn. Yeah. Very good play. Very interesting play. One more time. What a player. 20 seconds left for Mohammed. He's in a time trouble. Queen goes to b6. Kate, let's move our bishop somewhere. Bishop f1. Bishop f1. h4. Because her king will be too weak in a few moves. Mohammed, he's in a huge time trouble. 5 seconds left. 5 seconds left for him. 3 seconds. Rook e7. Why rook e7? But now rook d7. Kate, come on, 5 seconds left. We're both in a huge time trouble. Rook d7, attacking pawn. d2, queen c2. Yeah, she's winning this pawn on d2. d1, queen takes d1. Queen b6, but rook take on b6. Okay, queen d6 also very good. Queen d2, she's trying to exchange queens. Come on, let's take on b7. Pawn, it is a draw. What a pity for Kate. Bishop has to go to c5, g4, h takes g4, bishop takes g4, king f6. Just have to finish this game. We'll play it. Nobody wants to end this game in a draw. Come on, guys, let's finish it. Okay, it is a draw, but we have to consider that it was also one of the best games in our tournament. But now it is a draw. Kate, okay, let's agree with that. Yeah. Draw. Also very good. One more great game from Mohammed. One of the best players today. Now let's move to Group B. There are also a lot of great players there. And now let's watch this French defense played by Matt Prav and Hassan Rashid. Bishop g5, queen c7. Very strange French defense. Knight takes d4. What is going on? And Hassan Rashid decided to resign. Maybe it was a misclick. He wanted to take pawn on d4 with c pawn, but misclick, and he decided not to continue this game. We can understand his decision. Well, let's watch one more games. Let's watch the end of the game again between Yazan Abu Khalaf and Wandering Person, because it would be, I believe that it is a very interesting position. White has 2 extra pawns, but pawn on h5 is very strong, and it's not so easy to stop it right now. h4, h3, h2, h1, and black will win this position. So Yazan has to do something. 15 minutes left in our tournament. Knight goes to e5. But h left for Yazan, 30 seconds left for Wandering Person. King b7, b4, a6 also possible. b4 has to be played. 3 pawns. 3 pawns against knight. You know, in the second part of our tournament, in the second half of our tournament, there are a lot of very interesting games. b5, idea b6. I believe that while white will win this position. Check, 94, c5, king c4, king c4. Not so easy to defend this position for a Wandering Person. 20 seconds. Knight goes to g5. It is totally winning position, I believe, that for Yazan. Knight f7, king c6. Yeah, Wandering Person is losing this position. c6, c6 also was possible. King c7, and then an idea b6, b7, b8. Very good technique from Yazan. b6, king takes a6, b7. That's all e8 queen. Epets is, as we remember, I believe that it was one of the best games today. Now let's watch this game. Jana Ottman against Epets. Well, I believe that would be a very interesting game. Rim Almuri against Vova Pugachev. I believe that Black has a very strong bishop goes to e7, and I believe that the idea is f5. So king f1, Rim Almuri, but now queen can just take on e4. There are a lot of blunders in our tournament, but chess without blunders is not chess anymore. So he takes e5, rook d7. Strange play from Rim Almuri. I don't understand what he's doing, but maybe he has some plan in this position. But his king is very weak, and he is 3 pawns down. Not very good forecast for him in this position. At least perpetual check for Vova Pugachev is possible. Bishop goes to h4, attacking queen on g3. Rim decided to exchange queens. Vova, come on, let's do it. And then exchange all rooks with rook d8. And then just win the end game with 3 extra pawns. I believe that it is winning. Not 3, 4 extra pawns. But Vova decided to play for a checkmate. Also possible variant. He has good chances to do that. Bishop e6, but queen into the tournament. Maybe in the group B we can find something interesting. Well, let's watch Jane Wolf. Jane Wolf against Mustafa Hammouri. Let's watch this game. Black has extra material. Black has extra rook. I believe that Mohammed has a huge advantage here in this position. His position is very active, and it is not so easy to find a good plan for white. Rook takes d8, rook takes d8, rook d1, with an idea of exchanging all pieces to make his defense much more easier. Tsar is playing very logical. He's also a very good player, as we can see. He's the best. I believe he made a positional mistake. c4 was a mistake. Queen c1, I believe, was better to protect square on f4 with one more piece. But okay, maybe queen c2 helps with an idea of a4, something like that. Mohammed has 1 minute left and 7 minutes left in our tournament. Mohammed, come on, let's play faster. I believe that f4, yeah, f4 is an idea. G takes f4, G takes f4. I believe that E will take on f4, or yeah, knight c6, but rook d1 is the only move. Queen goes to d1. Queen is under attack on e5, and what next? Queen c7. Knight goes to b4. b4, no, queen d8. Queen d8 is played by Tsar. F will take on e3, F will take on f3, yeah. King g8, or something like that. Be played. b4, but very good move, very good counterplay for Mohammed. And now bishop b2 and c3, c2, c1. And how to prevent it? Very good question for Tsar. How to prevent it? Bishop d1, but also c3. Also c3, yeah. And then bishop d3, c2. And knight goes to c6, but maybe even, you know, bishop e2 is possible for Mohammed. Yeah, he's doing that. Bishop c2, bishop d3. Oh, well, defense. But bishop a3. Bishop a3 is an idea for Mohammed. Bishop a3, b5, bishop c5. Yes, he's doing that. So Tsar has to play king f2, as far as I'm concerned. 2 minutes left for him. He has to think. He has to find it. b5, I believe it is not very good because of bishop c5. Second knight on d4. King f2, very good. Very good, and now the plan is to move his king to the queen's side. Yeah, protecting the bishop on c2, but e3 right, not e3 not possible right now. King g7, maybe position also is lost. Position also is lost. d5, king f6. Very good play. One more good play from Mohammed. One more good play. He deserves this praise. e3, king d1. But how to win this position? h5. How to win this position correctly? Mohammed, he has 20 seconds, not so much time. King d1, c2, king d2. Well, king d2, yeah. But there is also this option, yeah. Of course, it is a clearly winning position for Mohammed, but let's watch this game till the end. Why not to watch the game of a master? King c2, a5, extra piece, extra bishop for Mohammed. And let's watch his technique. King b2, king d3, or maybe even, yeah, bishop f5, king a2, king c3. Tremendous play from Mohammed. And he is game in. Let's watch this game. Sasha against Mustafa Hamouri. The last move was queen f5. King b8 is the most logical move. Rook on d4, rook d7, rook d1, bishop d6. But rook d1, and bishop d6 right now. Okay, yeah, bishop d6. Extra pawn for Mustafa Hamouri. f6 should be played. Okay, rook d8, rook g7, bishop h2, bishop g7, bishop h2. Rook e1, king c8. Oh, no, not king c8, f6, yeah. Just let's protect pawn on g7, g3, and now king c8, king d7. King c7 with the same idea, but protecting rook and bishop. B takes 8. Well, interesting, very interesting. a3 was a very interesting idea. a3, b takes a3, and now bishop a5. Extra rook for Sasha, but a takes b2, but rook b1. Rook b1 and the pawn on b2 is falling down, and the game is all over. No, it's not falling down. Yeah, very interesting ending. Now pawn will go to c3 square, and maybe Mustafa has some chances. Well, right now c3, yeah. Bishop takes c3, bishop takes c3. What an ending, and I believe that it is a clear winning for black one more time for Mustafa. But bishop goes to e5, has to go to e5 in a few moves. h3, a4, a3, a2. And the game is all over. Fantastic. a3, a2. Well, not, but king b3. King b3 right now, and a2 checkmate. Yeah. The game is all over, and so our tournament also is all over. Rook d1, a2 checkmate. a2 checkmate, and so let's make some let's notice some results. So let's watch first of all Group A. Group A. So the Moscow Chess Club has won with 313 points against 167 points. Moscow Chess Club also won this match with 388 points against 140 points. The best player in this category was Zdarova with 52 points. The second place goes to Wandering Person with 44 points as well. So we have to name the best game in our tournament. Let's watch the game. Very technical from Palestinian players. So I believe that we should name it as one of the best in today's match. So now we have to finish our broadcast. We can say that it was a very interesting match between two great teams, three best players in both categories one more time. In Group A, Vova Pugachev, Tsar Mohammed Seder, first, second, and third place. And in Group B, Zdarova, Wandering Person, Hassan Rashid, also first, second, and third place. So now we have to finish our broadcast. I wish you good luck. Stay healthy in this time. So just stay healthy and goodbye.